From the mysterious, green, and seemingly powerful Yoda species with little to no backstory, to the bombing of the Jedi Temple and framing Ahsoka Tano while lambasting the Jedi Order, these are the 5 biggest Star Wars questions that have never been answered. And the first is probably the infamous Snoke's deal. Let's be honest, we all felt a bit let down by it, right? But it's not just disappointment that we're dealing with, it has put a bit of an anchor on the canon, which is trying its best to make sense of it all. But the real question here is, what about Snoke? How much did he know? How much power did he really have? Did he know about Exegol? And most importantly, did he kill Rey Sloane or have her killed for his own gain? We need some answers, people! And what about the other Snokes in those chambers on Exegol?
I know it. George Lucas knows it, and when I tell you, you'll know it, but if it leaks, we'll know it was you.
Was he loyal to Sidious, or was there more to it than we thought? Seriously, I have so many questions, and I'm sure you guys do too. It's time for some talented authors and illustrators to come in and give us some much-needed answers. And if you thought these questions were tough, then this next will blow your mind. But do you remember the Ghost Crew? How did it all come together? Damn, the truth is, y'all know how Hera and Chopper met and how the whole crew got together, but do you remember how Zeb and Sabine joined the team?
Freeze frames and clips from the shows and show her and be like, Ahsoka can do this.
It's a bit foggy, right? Well, let's dig into this mystery together. Zeb and Sabine had to leave their home worlds due to some tragic events. But how did they cross paths with Hera, Kanan, and a Chopper? Was it a chance encounter or a predestined meeting? Who knows? We need answers. And let's not forget about Sabine's trust issues. It would be interesting to see how she came on board as a teenager. Did Hera have to convince her to join the team? Did Kanan have to use the Force to make her come along? We need the deets. And now, let's talk about the future of our beloved Star Wars Rebels characters. What will happen to them after the show ends? Will they go their separate ways or stay together as a crew? So many unanswered questions.
Here to not be able to say anything.
Yeah, it really has been. And we started production on Ahsoka 3 weeks ago.
And here's the next one. Have you heard of Yoda's species? Where the hell do they come from? I mean, we all know that the galaxy far, far away is filled with amazing creatures and characters, but this one species got us scratching our heads. I'm talking about those mysterious green guys. You know who I'm talking about, the Yoda species. Do we really want to know more about them, or is the mystery what makes them so cool? It's a tough question, but let's dive in. Now, some of you might be thinking, hey, we don't need to know more about these guys. They're already powerful and mysterious. And that's what makes them so awesome. And I get it, I really do. But think about it. We've got a chance to learn so much more about them. Who were their leaders? What were their civilizations like? And were they all blessed with the Force? There's so much we don't know. And it's enough to make any Star Wars fan drool. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm already imagining all the stories that could come out of learning more about the Yoda species. Maybe we'll get to see a young Yoda kicking butt and taking names. Or maybe we'll find out that there are more of these green guys out there in the galaxy. The possibilities are endless. And I, for one, am excited to see what the Star Wars team comes up with. And on to the next. Do you remember the Barriss Offee? What exactly happened to her? Especially after she admitted to bombing the Jedi Temple and blaming Ahsoka Tano. I mean, that was a pretty bold move, right? Well, the truth is, no one really knows what happened to her after that, but there have been some pretty interesting theories floating around the interwebs.
He was like, I think your mum told me something, and I was like, no, I told you that. And then he went, oh, I was always more of a Trek fan.
One of the most popular theories is that she became an Inquisitor. But let's face it, with all the Inquisitors popping up lately, the odds of that are looking slim. So what happened to Barriss Offee post-Order 66? Did she escape captivity, or did she stick to her dark path? These are the questions that have been keeping Star Wars fans up at night for years. Personally, I'm curious to know if she's still out there, causing trouble in a galaxy far, far away. Maybe she's joined forces with the First Order or the Sith, or maybe she's just laying low, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Who knows? But one thing's for sure, we're all dying to find out what happened to Barriss Offee. And this next.
John and Dave, one of the first things John said to me was like, first thing you need to know is everyone we work with is nice.
Have you ever wondered about the backstory of one of the most intriguing and dynamic characters in the galaxy far, far away? I'm talking about none other than the iconic Darth Maul. Now, we all know how much of a badass he is, from his epic lightsaber battles with the likes of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn to his notorious Crimson Dawn criminal empire. But have you ever stopped to think about what happened in between his time on Dathomir and Malachor? I mean, let's face it, Maul's story always has new elements and directions that keep us fascinated, and yet there's a huge gap in his story that leaves us all wondering, how did he get to Malachor? And was he happy to abandon his criminal empire? These are the questions that keep us up at night. I don't know about you, but I want answers.
Sword work, like I put 2 guns, so I've got to be careful. So it makes me think a little bit more about how I'm going to do something.
We all know that Maul is always on the hunt for revenge against his old nemesis Obi-Wan, but what happened during that mysterious time gap in his story? Did he take a break from his constant thirst for vengeance, or did he plot his next move? And how did he end up being hunted by the 8th brother on Malachor? Now, I know some of you may be thinking, why do we need to know this? The story of Crimson Dawn post Maul's death continues to be told, and trust us, it's juicy. So in Solo, a Star Wars story, Maul is no longer in charge of the criminal organization, and our girl Qi'ra steps up to the plate. But navigating the criminal underworld while dealing with Han Solo and her complicated feelings are no easy feat. But wait, there's more. In the comics, we see Qi'ra dealing with the fallout of Maul's death and struggling to maintain control over Crimson Dawn.
I'm just going to do it, and then I'm going to prove you that I could do it, not only to you, but also to myself.
Plus, she's got rival gangs, internal power struggles, and the Empire to deal with. It's like a soap opera, but in space. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Qi'ra starts working with a rebellion, trying to balance her loyalty to Crimson Dawn with her desire to do what's right. It's like choosing between pizza and tacos, but with higher stakes. Overall, this story shows the complexity of the Star Wars universe, where even villains can have compelling arcs and motivations. We can't wait to see what happens to Qi'ra and Crimson Dawn in the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Will she continue to grow and evolve as a character, or will she be consumed by the dark side? Well, my friends, it's all about the details. We want to know everything about our favorite characters, and that includes their journey and the events that led up to their most epic moments. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we'll finally get some answers about Maul's missing years. Until then, let's keep speculating and enjoying the thrilling ride that is the Star Wars universe. May the Force be with you.